but to be concerned with also well-being of others. And trying to be as much health benefit as possible, whenever possible, whenever we're able to the body's peace mind, directly, indirectly. And in long term, to be able to help them to overcome all their suffering and cause of the suffering, their own delusion and karma. And to be able to help them in that way, we ourselves need to be free from all the obscurations, actualize and fully develop all the inner positive qualities. And in order to cultivate all those positive inner qualities, we need to meditate, practice, contemplate. And for that, we need to be reminded of the practice. And that is why we have come here together. May us coming together, listening, reflecting, contemplating. May all of these become cause and conditions to achieve fully enlightenment, so we can be most benefit and help to each and every sentient being. Okay.
We'll begin with the opening prayers, the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. We'll say that 3 times. To the founder,
Thou transcendent destroyer, the one and only, the focus is destroyer, completely perfected, fully unlimited, perfect in knowledge and in conduct. Supreme God of human beings, retain the other gods and human beings. To you, the complete and fully awakened one, they thou transcendent destroyer. Glorious conqueror, the substitute and distractor thing, I prostrate make all things more correct. Without transcendent destroyer, the one and only, the four destroyed, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct. Sudha, the Lord of the world, supreme guide of human beings, retain. Teacher of God and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subdued of the psychic pain, I prostrate make all things more the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one beyond, the full destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being. Perfect knowledge and good conduct. So God, the Lord of the world, supreme God of the human beings, retain. Teacher of God and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious The substitute from the shaka plane, I prostate may open.
That would be the short $9 ones. This round,
Stone lines. I don't really want the end of 4 minutes. And then I can accept with a feeling of play. They all live in me, it's you. Guru Rana, me.
and now taking refuge in generating bodhicitta, we'll do it once in English and twice in Tibetan. I go for refuge in Tibetan.
To the Buddha, the Dhamma, the sense. I have become that, the benefit of sentient. So we have been discussing and also doing some practice related to different most used mantras. And as we mentioned at the very beginning, the main purpose of using a mantra is to awaken our mind, to using the mantra to awaken our mind, to actualize those inner positive qualities of spiritual realizations, and eventually to accomplish or achieve our highest potential, the fully awakened state, or fully enlightened. That is the main purpose. But also, through the practice of the mantras, also we can develop certain temporary common accomplishments, certain powers that we can use to help and benefit others through the power of the mantras. When the practitioner, with a total devotions, faith in that particular deity, that particular practice, mantras, and with proper intentions, motivations, and with proper visualizations in the practice. So for when you combine all of that and when you recite the mantras, certain numbers, or sometime, until you have some signs. Sometimes practitioners can have some sign that they have accomplished the power of the mantra. Sometimes there are certain visions of the deities. Sometimes in meditation they have a vision. Sometimes it can come in the dreams, and there are many certain different kind of signs of that you have accomplished the power of the mantra. Or sometimes you do certain number of mantras. Through that, then a practitioner can achieve the power of the mantra. And through the power of the mantras, a practitioner can be able to help others. Today, one of the mantras that we're going to talk about is the mantra of Medicine Buddha, Healing Buddha. Okay? And there are a lot of practitioners who have practiced this practice, reciting mantra and with all other requirements and then retreat and achieve the power of the mantra. And through having achieved the power of the mantra, they can heal and cure a lot of people. And it is not something that we have seen, even in my time by others, like in certain villages, where they don't have doctors, and they are kind of practitioner healers, and then in certain cases, they recite the mantras, and then they blow. Sometimes people have problem with the eyes, rashes, or different things, and they recite, they blow on that areas, and like that, and then you see they heal from that. It's something that a lot of people have experienced or seen. It's not something like story that happened in the past. No one has really seen. Certain practitioners, lamas, they again recite the mantra, they blow into the water, and then people use that water to anoint, sometimes when they have rashes, when they have wounds, sometimes they have problem with the eyes, and they're applying, again, they get kind of cured and healed. And that is when someone, a practitioner, have achieved that power of the mantra through that recitation, they are able to use the power of mantra to heal, help others. And it is something that is still, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Rinpoche recite mantras and he blow in the water and he has blessed waters in. And so when someone has some issue, he sang those water people, and a lot of people found very helpful, those blessed water. And again, that is, definitely, I think there are many other factors. I don't know. I cannot say which many factors come into the play, because I think sometimes with that kind of power, the mantras, they are able to heal certain illness, not all the illness. They are able to heal some people, not everyone's. So what are the other factors that I think maybe karma might be one factor that is involved? How much strong karmic they have. The practitioner who does the healing through the power of the mantra, and that person, there might be some also how strong that karmic is there. That might be another factors where with the same mantras, where it is able to heal someone and not someone. And then in terms of certain illness, not every illness, so there are, so I can't say what other factors. Definitely, I would say karma do play some factor in that, but it is also true that people have experienced and seen people being healed of not all the illness, not all the problem, but certain problem of certain individual through the power of the mantras, when someone's blowing or and knowing the blessed water and so forth, the mantra. Also in we have seen in the monastery, like in like in South India, when I was in South India, when there is a construction buildings, and especially when you are having the the roof putting all the cements, and sometime after most of the time the work's done also in the summer, and some in the summer it rains. During that, if it rains, it will destroy everything because it will, because the cement has not been strong, so it will kind of. So that day we don't want rains to happen, And so one of the things what we do is there is a certain through mantras and rituals, the whole month throughout the year, they do certain ceremonies, they do retreat, like every year, whole month, 2,000-3,000 months, for 10 days, 2 weeks, they do the retreat, high river retreat on particular deity, the main deity of the monastery. And then monthly, in month, there is a group who does that. And during whole this 1 year, we have these ritual cakes, big ritual cakes. Then each year, they change that ritual cake. And from that ritual cake that has been kind of used with all this ceremony, all the mantras, then they make a powder. And then, we want like incense powder. And then during that, when it's raining, there will be one monk who is making fire and ready if there is sign of rain, then he will make fire, smoke, and then he will start to put that powder and recite the mantras. And we have seen it stop the rain. And so every time when there's we have to be ready with that. And the Indian who does the constructions, because they are the Indian, they saw all this happening, and then they come and ask for that, they take themselves because they have seen with their own eyes, And that is again the power of the mantras, the power of the mantras, it can, and then, also in Dharamsala, there used to be one practitioner who is known as Rainmaker. And also, I haven't seen myself, but he's well known, everyone's well known. Again, he has some ability to make rain, And again, that through the power of his mantras, his practice and mantra, certain mantra that he used, have gained power over that. And after he died, I don't know, I have not heard anyone, but he was very well known in that area and to make an rainmaker, so like that. And of course, then mantras to increase longevities, through the power of the mantras, someone can increase longevities by achieving the power of the mantras yourself, and to so through those, again, you can use those becoming tools to help and benefit others, so the power of the mantras. So today we talk about the medicine Buddha. Okay. And let me see. I think we do have here the Tanga of medicine Buddha is a blue. So let me show you. Normally there's some. It's like a Buddha Shakyamuni, but it's a blue in colors. Okay, blue in colors, wearing the same robe like Buddha Shakyamuni, and then in his right hand he's holding this begging or bowl, and is filled with nectar. And then this is a medicinal plant, symbolizing healing. Uh, inside there, is full of nectars and medicines, medicinal plant. And here, that is left hand in meditative mudra with holding that, and right hand in grinding, refuge mudra, and then holding again medicine plant. This is a medicine plant. Okay. Also, the color, the blue, is the color lapis lazuli, also symbolizing is a healing mineral. So even the color and the implement that he holds, those all symbolize the healing. Okay. And when we talk about healing, then of course, physical healing, the physical illness, emotional, mental illness, healing from the negative karma that produce a lot of illness, sufferance, healing from all the delusions, obscurations, and healing from chronic disease of self-cherishing or selfish attitude. Okay. So that is the medicine Buddha. Before I go into the mantra itself, so again, as we mentioned before, those different Buddha are manifestation of different enlightened energy. And here, medicine Buddha is a manifestations of all the enlightened healing energy. Okay. Just like all the enlightened compassion energies manifesting in Avalokiteshvara, all the enlightened wisdom manifesting in the Manjushri form, all the enlightened activities manifesting into a Tara's form. Similarly here, all the enlightened healing energies manifesting that particular form. Okay, and so that is something we try to be aware and remember when we do practice. We think this image, the form or image that we are visualizing it is something that is the form we expect, that is the manifestations of all the healing energies. So total having that strong convictions help for the power of the practice, and for the stronger we have that, the more stronger and more effective the practice is, more powerful the practice is. And then, according to the Medicine Buddha, there is sutra, Medicine Buddha sutras. In that sutras, it explains, Medicine Buddha, when he was on the path, he made 12 big, 12 vows. Okay. And so, so when he achieved that enlightenment, then those vows become actualized. those vows actualize. The prayer or the vows we make at the moment while we're on the path, when we become fully enlightened, those prayers and vows actualize, because in terms of the path, both of the path, there are 10 bhumis. And in each of those bhumis, they train, and at the end they perfect different qualities of 10 perfection. One of them is the perfection of prayer. And when you actually fully enlightened, your prayer become accomplished, your vows become accomplished, perfect and complete and accomplished. Therefore, again, when we rely on medicine Buddhas, then all the vows you made on the path, because those have been accomplished, then one can receive the benefit from that power. So, like in the I don't know whether I should read all his vows. Yeah, he vowed that his body will shine with dazzling light and illuminate countless worlds. Another vow is, with his written pure body, would bring those dwelling in darkness into the light. He would provide sentient beings with their material needs. So therefore, again, also if we, when we need material help for ourselves, for others, also that can also help. He would guide those guiding on the deviated path to find way to the great vehicle. He would enable countless beings to keep the precepts. He would heal physical afflictions so that all beings would be able bodies, and also he made that vows and prayers that that when he would be able to heal physical, emotional, mental pain and suffering of all sentient beings, so they can have able good health. He also vowed he would cause those who are sick and without a family to have healing and family to care for them. Also he made a vow he would liberate beings from the nets of demons and bounds of external sect. Also, he made a vow he would cause those who are in prison and under the threat of execution to be liberated from waiting and suffering. Also, he made a vow that he would cause those who are desperate for food and drink to be satiated. Also, he made a vow he would cause those who are poor, without clothes, and plagued by the cold, heat, and stinging insect to have fine garment and enjoy the surrounding and so forth. So those are some of the the vows that the 12 vows he made. And so then coming to the mantra itself, okay? And medicine Buddha's mantra is also one of those mantras that is very used for many different purposes. Mainly, again, as I mentioned, to heal oneself or heal someone. Whether it's a physical illness, whether it's emotional, mental illness, or cause of those illness. So we do those practice, recite the mantra to heal either ourselves or heal someone when someone is not feeling well. So when someone is sick, we recite that. We can do for ourselves, we can do for someone, we can do for all sentient beings. Also, we recite the medicine Buddha for those who are dying and those who have died. It's very powerful practice. mantra and practice medicine Buddha practice. Someone who is in the process of dying, and someone who already died. Especially for the 49 days when they are still wandering in the part of intermediate stage before they can have rebirth. So it is very powerful mantra to practice the mantra to recite so that they can have less fear in the pardo. It is mentioned in the pardo, intermediate stage, they will have all different kind of visions, especially if you have strong negative karma. You will see all kind of scary and fearful visions, and then, and due to that, the person in the pardo or the sentient being in the pardo can have a lot of fears. And so through reciting and doing the medicine Buddha practice and reciting mantra for them, it will help them to not have those fearful visions. And by not having those fearful visions, then they will not have that fears. And so they can find more peace, calm mind without the fear. And with that peace and calm mind, then also they will have better transitions, better rebirth as well. So it helped them to have better rebirth, and to meet the medicine Buddha in the futures, maybe to be born in the medicine Buddha's pure land, and to receive the teaching there. So again, that also, as it mentioned, according to his vows, medicine Buddha vows, also we can do it, when someone is struggling with their, suffering of hunger, thirsty, not having necessity for too much heat, too much cold, so that to help them to have less suffering of heat, less suffering of hot, from the problem of natural disasters, whether it's a flood, whether it's a wildfire, whether it's earthquakes, so again, doing those practice, also reciting the mantra, medicine Buddha mantra, also it will be helpful and beneficial. So therefore, that is what medicine Buddha, often used very much. So you can always, and especially, I think it's even better. Especially, it's good for people who are in health sector, and not only the health sector, people who are trying to help others, taking care of other people who are ill, sick, elder, So then, so whatever help we try to do become more effective healing for them. Because of all that practice, it become more powerful of healing. The medicine become more effective. Whatever other form of treatment you do, it become more beneficial, more effective. I've noticed, like in Tibetan clinics, where they do the Tibetan, medicine doctors, and every morning after all the staff comes, not only the doctors, the nurse, people who work in the clinic, pharmacy who give the medicine and everything, and everyone who is involved with that, they come together and first they do medicine Buddha practice before they start open the clinic. And so again, when we are taking any medicines, if we are taking any kind of medicines, again, it's good to do the practice. You can, if we have time, we can do more, longer practice. When you don't have so much time, we can do very simple practice. When you don't have even time, we can recite the mantras, medicine Buddha mantras, and you blow to the whatever medicines or treatment you take. And therefore, whatever medicine or treatment you take, it can become more healing, more powerful. Of course, we take whatever treatment, whatever medicine we take, but with that recitation of mantras, and then blowing on that, and then that same thing, if, for example, when you are feeding a food for your animals, you recite a mantra, blow on the food and give them, and that becomes blessing for them. So then that food is not just a food, but it becomes kind of medicine. It becomes like medicines. So not just food, it becomes medicine, healing, and not only physically, also spiritually healing as well. So again, it can be beneficial, helpful for the cats. If you can, before you feed them, or after you put the food, water, you can recite some mantra before they eat. You can kind of blow, you can bless the food, you can bless the food, you can bless the water with that mantra. And then, so again, those are some of how we can use that mantra for different purpose and to help and benefit others. Okay. And the mantra itself is, Maha Bekanze, Raja Samukade Swaha. If you see the mantras there. Does everyone has the mantra? Like if you can ask them, those people.
It's number 7.
Okay. Yeah, so number 7. Before mantra, there is one verse that we recite all the time, and it comes in all different practice of medicine Buddha, but I don't know exactly that verse who composed it, whether it was from the sutra or whether it was composed by some other master later. But before we recite the mantra, there's one verse we recite, and then we recite the mantra. Of course, there are in sadhana, there are more other practice, but I'm just talking the simple way. And that is said to the Bhagavan with equal compassion for all. So referring to the medicine Buddha. Okay. It is not here, but the Bhagavan means the Buddha, fully enlightened, with equal compassion for all, and that is the qualities of all the enlightened beings, all the Buddhas. Their compassion is undiscriminated, unbiased. Whether you have faith to the Buddha or not, their compassion is equal. Whether you offer to them, make offering to them, or whether you steal their offering, their compassion is equal. Whether you praise them, pay homage, or whether you criticize them, their compassion is equal. That is the compassion of fully enlightened, fully awakened, equal. No discriminating whether someone like them or not like them, someone praise them, someone criticize them, someone make offerings, someone try to hurt them, harm them, try to steal them, their compassion is equal. So that is, and whose name when just heard, despair the Lord and sufferings. And so that is, the name when we recite the mantra, name mantras. So these are the name mantras. Is mantra also related with the names? And that when we recite just by hearing the name of the medicine Buddha, but just by hearing the mantras, it can dispel, the suffering of Lord rebirth. And it is because the power of the vows and prayer that medicine Buddha made, while on the path, and that has been accomplished when he achieved fully enlightened. And so therefore, again, it's very powerful just by hearing it. So of course, just by hearing that, if you can dispel such suffering, Lord, but then if you recite it, if you really practice it, then of course it is even more powerful. Dispeller of disease and the three poisons, and so the medicine Buddha is, healer or dispeller of the disease or healer of the disease. And three poisons are the negative emotions of, attachments, anger, and ignorance. So not only physical illness or disease and emotional illness, but also the root cause of all those illness is those delusion, three poisonous. So also it also can dispel and heal those. And I quoted the medicine Buddha, love is light. So that is normally at the very beginning. We try to recite that verse, pay homage, often in our heart, and prostrate, and then, and if you can, then you can try to do the 7 limb practice, and then you can try to then visualize it, and then do the mantras, recitation, the realizations. And so the mantra is Tayata, I mentioned, Om Bekhanse, Bekhanse, Mahar Bekhanse, Bekhanse, Raja Samugati Soha. And Tayata, like we already mentioned, it just means thus it is. Om, we already explained before with all the mantras, the Om, the result, the enlightened body, speech, and mind. So, in order to transform our unenlightened body, speech into the enlightened body, speech, and mind. And Bekhanse, meaning healing, or healer. Maha Bekhanse is great healer, or great healer. Ranza is the king, Samugade. Samugade is gone, like gade, gone. Samugade gone beyond, so gone beyond here means, that someone who has gone beyond from the samsara and nirvana to the non-abiding nirvana. And so, as we mentioned, so be it. So, Bekhanse, Mahar Bekhanse. The first Bekhanse, healing. Healing of what? The healing of, the physical illness and the suffering of all that. Second Bekhanse, healing, is second Bekhanse is healing of, the suffering of samsara, and the delusions, the karma and the delusions. And the Mahar Bekhanse is healing, the chronic illness of selfish attitude of self-centeredness and the subtle obscurations. So that is, the king who have gone beyond. So the medicine Buddha, okay, the king who is gone beyond, who heals, physical illness and the suffering of lower rebirth, who heals the suffering was called the samsara and all the delusion and karma, especially the three poisonous. And then Mahavekana, and who heal, great healing of the self-cherishing, selfish attitude and subtle obscurations. So with that, then again, in that it shows the path to transform our unenlightened body, speech into enlightened body, speech, and mind. How can we transform that? By healing all the suffering and negative karma that lead to the lower rebirth, by healing all the suffering of the samsara and the cause of all the samsara, by dispelling or healing all the delusions and all the karma. And not only that, then by dispelling and healing the selfish attitude and the subtle obscurations. And how we do that? How do we heal that? How do we heal that? We heal the suffering of lower rebirth and the cause of lower rebirth by engaging in the practice of moral discipline, the practice of middle sport, small sport, by engaging in pure moral discipline. How we heal the suffering of samsara and the karma and the delusions by cultivating the wisdom that understands the emptiness reality. By cultivating the wisdom that realizes the emptiness of reality, through that, we can dispel and heal all the pain and suffering of samsara, as well as the cause of the samsara, the karma and the delusions. How can we heal the selfish attitude and the subtle obscurations? We heal that by cultivating the bodhicitta mind, loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta mind. So by cultivating true love, compassion, bodhicitta mind, with that support of true love, compassion, bodhicitta mind, together the wisdom realizing the emptiness, then we can, with that true love, compassion, bodhicitta mind, we can heal and dispel the chronic disease of that selfish attitude. Together with the wisdom, that method, together with wisdom, then we can overcome and dispel the more subtle obscurations. By overcoming that more subtle obscuration, then we can achieve our highest potential, fully awakened state. And then we become ourselves the medicine Buddha. Then we become ourselves the medicine Buddha. We become inseparable from the medicine Buddha ourselves. One with the medicine Buddha. So that is in short, I think that is the meaning of that mantras. So I think maybe, we will have a short break. And then after that, maybe we can do short practice maybe. Before we do a short practice, I think I can take some questions. There's one questions in the chat, which says, I did not understand what Bekhanze means, or does it imply healing? The third one of self-cherishing. Well, as I mentioned before, Bekhanze means healing, not healing, healing. So Bekhanze means healing. Ma Bekhanze means great healing. And the third one, great healing, meaning healing from selfish attitude, self-centeredness, and subtle obscurations. Third one, the Ma Bekhanze. Okay. So I think that is related to the question that was asked on the there. Yes.
You mentioned that we could like blow on our pets' food and stuff. Don't you think we should do that to our friends too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If if people doesn't mind, then of course we can do it for people. There's no doubt about that. People maybe sometimes they might, what are you doing? Whereas the pet wouldn't mind that. They will appreciate that. But we human beings, we don't know. If someone is the other person is receptive, then he's wonderful. Or we can do very quietly. In your mind, you recite and you just send the energy. Just send the energy. Yes.
How many times do you blow?
100.
Isn't it 5 times?
No, 100,000. No, you can recite as many as you can recite one time. You can recite 3 times, 7 times, 21 times, whatever. And you can just blow 1 time, 2 times, 3 times.
Okay.
1 time is okay to blow. But you can recite the mantra before, Yeah, if you have time, you can do more. When you don't have time, just 1, 2, or 3, 5, 7. Yes, please.
Don't you think that the medicine mantra would be good for yourself too?
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely it is. When you are not feeling well, or even when you are feeling well, you can always do that, because it is not just the physical illness, but also negative karma, that the potential there. The potential, the negative karma, the potential there that could manifest in the form of illness anytime. So it can also heal and purify that, as well as the delusion. So therefore, we can always do that. And especially when we are not feeling well, we do the visualizations of light, healing lights, nectar coming, and healing the illness, everything, but especially wherever we are feeling, especially emphasizing the visualizing that spot, can be helpful. Yeah. Any other questions? If there's no question, then we can do maybe a short practice. And again, I already showed the medicine Buddha just to have little kind of ideas of the image. So it is like Buddha Shakyamuni, but blue, and then on the holding the medicinal plant. So let's try to just again relax, quiet your mind by watching the breath. Few moments. Then we can imagine, visualize all sentient beings surrounding yourself as vast as the space. And especially if you want to keep someone in your practice who might require immediate kind of help to heal their certain problem, illness, you can visualize specific them next to you, around you. And then we can try to generate the motivation, think, we all are experiencing some form of illness on physical, emotional, mental level. Even if we are not experiencing now, there's always the potential negative karma that can manifest anytime. Then, of course, we all in samsara, we all have this illness of defilement, the delusions, affected emotions. Including the chronic illness of self-cherishing or self-centeredness. So in order to heal from all those different levels of illness and the cause of all the illness of not just oneself, but of all sentient beings, and to lead them to ultimate happiness, fully enlightened state. I'm going to do this practice for Medicine Buddha for all sentient beings, including myself. To heal physical, mental, emotional, mental illness, and to find a perfect health, not just physical health, but emotional, mental health. Then we can, in the space above you, you can visualize Medicine Buddha. In essence, is our root guru, in the form of the Medicine Buddha, and blue in color, and wearing the monk's saffron robe, just like Buddha Shakyamuni. Left hand in a meditative posture, holding the begging bowl filled with nectars and medicinal plants. In the right hand, by the knee, in the gesture or mudra of granting refuge and holding the medicinal plant. And he is seated, full cross leg, on top of the lotus and moon cushion. Looking at us with a complete compassionate eyes, unconditional, impartial love. And always ready to help, to heal, to guide. And medicine Buddha is also the manifestations of all the healing energy in that blue, lapis lazuli, blue form. At his heart, you can visualize, syllable letter surrounded by the medicine Buddha mantra, Tayatang Bekhanze Bekhanze, Ma Bekhanze, Ranta Samukadeshwara. Again, all of them standing transparent, making the sound of the mantra. Again, the mantra, the syllables, they are the enlightened healing energy in that form. And as we recite the mantras, we can imagine and visualize from the garlands of the mantra and Hum syllable, blue lights, nectar flow into oneself, all sentient beings, cleanse and purify, and heal all the illness. As well as all the negative karma, the delusions, and the subtle obscuration completely. So while keeping that visualization state, and if you want to do for someone, you can especially visualize that light nectar flowing and entering that person and healing whatever illness that is. Kanze be kanze maha be kanze raja samuga deso ayata be kanze maha be kanze raja samuga deso ayata Mahabhe Kande Be Kande Raja Samgade So Ayata Be Kande Be Mahabhe Kande Be Kande Raja Samgade So Ayata Be Kande Be Kande Mahabhe Kande Be Kande Raja Samukade Soha, Ayatam Bekande Bekans, Mahabekande Bekans, Raja Samukade Soha, Ayatam Bekande Bekans, Mahabekande Bekans, Raja Samukade Soha, I am a Tammo, Bear, Hunter, Bear, Hunt, Mahabir, Hunter, Bear, Hunt, Raja Sammo, Gander, Solo, Hunt, I am a Tammo, Bear, Hunter, Bear, Hunt, Mahabir, Hunter, Bear, Hunt, Raja Sammo, Gander, Solo, Randa Samu Kande Soha, Maha Randa Samu Kande Soha, Maha Randa Samu Kande Soha, Naza Samunga de Soba, Ayata Be Ante Be Ante, Maha Be Ante Be Ante, Naza Samunga de Soba, Ayata Be Ante Be Ante, Maha Be Ante Be Ante, Naza Samunga de Soba. Raja Sambung Kade Soha, Raja Sambung Kade Soha. So imagine, visualize with total convictions that the physical illness of oneself and all sentient beings, especially who is having some challenges, difficulties, as well as the emotional illness. Being completely healed the moment that healing light touch, completely healed. The moment the nectar touch, completely healing. And also it heals all the negative karma, all the contaminated karma completely. Also being healed from all the afflictive emotions, especially the three poisonous afflictive emotions. Being healed of all the anger, all the craving or attachments, the illness of ignorance. It also heal the chronic disease of selfish attitude and subtle obscuration completely. Heal from all the suffering and the cause of suffering. And we decide 7 more times. Ta om be kanze be ma be kanze randa samu kage so ta om be kanze be ma be kanze be randa samu kage so ta om be kanze be ma be kanze be Fantas, so Maha Bel Kandel Anda Samu Gade So Maha Bel Kandel Anda Samu Gade So Maha Bel Kandel Pada Samunga de Solo, Mahabel under Berkans, Pada Samunga de Solo. So visualize, again, more light, nectar flow, the healing light, nectar flow, and receiving all this healing energy. And our whole body is atom, is molecules, is cells, is filled with this healing energy. And receiving the blessing in light and body, speech, and mind. And receiving all the spiritual realizations. And which are the healing energy that heals our mind and body. That bring perfect physical good health and mental health, good health, and lasting happiness. All part of ourselves, all the atoms, molecules, cells being filled with those healing energy and filled with great bliss. Then the medicine Buddha, Guru medicine Buddha dissolve into the light, blue light, and blue light dissolve into ourselves. And our body, speech, and mind become one inseparable from the Guru medicine Buddha. Buddha's enlightened body, speech, and mind. and stabilize all the spiritual realization and healing energy. Then we can dedicate due to all the virtues that we have created, especially this practice. May I achieve the state of the Guru Medicine Buddha and lead all sentient beings to that Guru Medicine Buddha's state. Gawadi and Yududa, maybe Yabudu and Gawadi and is okay. So then we can do the final dedications.
Okay. The dedication prayer, we'll do that once. Do to the marrow, we'll do those three.
Now I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme you Adishita, that is not others and others and love. And may that which are arising not diminish, but increase more and more.
And now, for all my prayers, for His Holiness the Dalai Lama in England. For which,
Granting which fulfilling yours, all every single benefit and happiness in this world. To the incomparably unchanging gods of humanity, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled.
also incarnation of one nation. Venerable One,
One to you, instantly having all of the countries, all those wonders in public places, especially the places. Mindful and loving concern for us, intentionally descending again into the family of Far Eastern land. We make this request, all Lama, please, 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 Lord. Thank you very much, everyone. Those who have come here and those who are joined by the online. Okay, good night. Thank you, everyone.
thank you, Bishop.
Thank you, Mary, for sharing all the prayers. Thank you.
Thank you.